livinginblack.com. My name is Keedy Awadu, aka The Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you to deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Wednesday, the 12th of February, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. And bear with me for a little bit of a late start. I just had a fuse blow in circuit breaker and had to jump back in and reset everything for the morning. I hope you are in good spirits today. And here, bear with me, still getting all the buttons in place. On LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. Mama said eat them greens. Mama was right about so many things. And when it came to eating them greens, Mama was right. Mama said eat them greens. Grandmama said eat them greens. Today, we're going to talk about eating them greens. And here, bear with me as I get everything into place. Okay, got everything in place, up and running, and live and direct here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. Today on LIB Radio, I was recently asked by a concerned colleague as to the best food source or supplement for vitamin K, which serves a crucial role in blood coagulation, blood clotting. Without sufficient vitamin K, your blood wouldn't clot properly, leading to difficulty in healing wounds. It is so important to maintain adequate levels of all of the vitamins in your diet. Foods rich in vitamin K include leafy green vegetables like kale, spinach, and broccoli, as well as certain oils and fermented foods. So that is going to be the topic for discussion today on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Great to have you with us. Let me just do one thing here real quick. I'm still setting things up. What happened is literally I was about 1 minute away from launching, maybe 3 minutes from launching, and pop, fuse blew, and all of the electrical devices simultaneously disconnected. But we are back again, live and direct, and with you, our listening audience today, wherever you're listening from. If you're listening on younow.com, it's great to have you in the house. We're broadcasting today on YouTube, on Facebook Live, as well as on our TuneIn app. And Rumble is, of course, our main broadcast channel. We're always great to have each and every one of you with us. So going forward, here is our conversation for today. Let's get deep into this subject. First, I did some inquiries around search engines, compiled a large group or a large collection of data on vitamin K. Let's begin with vitamin K before we go deeper into other elements of why Mama said eat them greens. Why is vitamin K called the clotting vitamin? Vitamin K has earned the nickname the clotting vitamin due to its crucial role in blood coagulation, clotting. When you get a cut or an injury, your body's natural defense response is to form a clot to stop the bleeding. Vitamin K is essential in producing proteins needed for blood clot formation. Specifically, vitamin K helps to synthesize certain proteins required for the blood clotting process, such as prothrombin, which is vital for blood coagulation. Prothrombin is the word. Thrombin, you recognize that word thrombin from thrombosis, which is an unwanted clotting of blood vessels, arteries, or capillaries. So prothrombin is going to be the good clotting, the needed clotting. Very, very critical, very necessary. Going forward, without sufficient vitamin K, your blood wouldn't clot properly, leading to excessive bleeding and difficulty in healing wounds. This is why it is so important to maintain adequate levels of this vitamin in your diet. Foods rich in vitamin K include leafy green vegetables like kale, spinach, and broccoli, as well as certain oils and fermented foods. So, going forward, eating fresh, raw greens offers another level, a variety of health benefits. Fresh raw greens, including number one on the list and maybe one of the most important nutrients in our body, the mineral magnesium. Raw greens are rich in magnesium. I supplement with magnesium as well since I've been doing the stem cell research, which has culminated in this book, a book that I am so excited about. I'm so excited, and I'm doing the best I can to get everybody I can excited about regenerative medicine, and this is the frontier. So magnesium is very important. In fact, during the research for the book, I put up a portion on magnesium. Let me just do this real quick. And I do have, I believe I have magnesium in the index. Let's go find magnesium, MAG. No, I don't see it in the index. I'll have to add that to the index because magnesium supplementation is one of the key supplements that we use. Let me find supplementation. I know I'm talking about, I know I've got magnesium in here somewhere. Bear with me. The book is brand new. I'm literally still finding things in the book that are going to be using supplements. Pages 12, 23, 33, 35, 79. Okay, so we're probably looking about 23 or 33. I have a long, long list of supplements, and I went right there to all of these supplements. Magnesium is on page 130, supplement number 25. Now, how many supplements did I put in here that are about supporting stem cell proliferation, activation, differentiation? There are a total of 45 supplements. Number 25 is magnesium. One of the most powerful macro minerals. Magnesium is vital for cellular function and energy production, supporting stem cell health and promoting their proliferation and differentiation. Magnesium is an essential chlorophyll component, giving many plants a dense green color. Mama said, eat them greens, y'all. Mama said, eat them greens. She was absolutely right. So magnesium, we got that one into the record for today. We're going to be talking about magnesium a little bit later in much more depth. Let's go forward. That was benefit number one, rich in magnesium. Number two, no, magnesium. Fresh greens such as spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are excellent sources of magnesium, which is essential for numerous bodily functions, including muscle and nerve function, blood sugar control, and bone health. There you have it. You got it. Fresh raw greens offer a variety of benefits. Number two, anti-inflammatory properties. Many raw greens contain antioxidants and phytonutrients that help reduce inflammation in the body. This can be beneficial for preventing chronic and acute diseases and promoting overall health. When we look at the cause of disease in the body, in the book 100 Plus Lifespan, I identify 162 inflammation-related diseases, including your top 10 killers. 162. One solution, 162 preventive and/or restorative benefits. Sounds like a good idea to eat them greens. Get that chlorophyll, get that magnesium. Number three, benefits. High in fiber. Raw greens are a great source of dietary fiber, which aids in digestion, helps maintain a healthy weight, can lower the risk of heart disease and diabetes, as well as other metabolic syndrome diseases. Fiber also promotes a healthy gut microbiome. And many people say, and I agree, great health begins in the colon. That's your microbiome. These 100 trillion friendlies that help us digest our food and to produce critical elements such as hormones and other elements to support the nervous system, brain function, whole digestive function, prevent cancer. The microbiome is one of the most important components of the body's 10 metabolic systems that can come into disorder. We talk a lot about metabolic syndrome, which is disorder among these systems. Number four, chlorophyll content. The green pigment in plants, chlorophyll, has been associated with various health benefits, including detoxification, improved liver function, and potential anti-cancer properties. Chlorophyll may help in wound healing and reducing body odor, including, of course, your parsley. That's why the parsley's on the plate, not just as a beautiful green garnish, which it is a beautiful green garnish. The parsley's there because you chew it at the end of the meal, and it helps to neutralize any funkiness coming out of the middle of your face when you're talking to people. Mama said, eat them greens, y'all. Going forward, support for stem cell health. Some studies suggest that the nutrients found in raw greens may support the health and function of stem cells. This will be important for tissue repair and regeneration, as well as overall cellular health. And that's what the new book is about. The 2 books ago, the one that came out, the first book that came out in December 2024, was called Living Superfood Solutions. And in Living Superfood Solutions, we talked a lot. We talked a lot about greens and other related issues. And I'm looking, I have in Living Superfood Solutions for magnesium, pages 51, 83, 130, 149, 150, 171, 174, 179, 206, and 211. Let's go to page 174 and see what it has to say about magnesium. This is a little bit of a large book, but that's a good thing. When we're talking about solutions, you want the book to be large. We're talking about this chapter is entitled Bone Health and Nutrition. The subchapter begins on page 174, Confusion in the Field of nutrition counseling. And I begin with a subchapter. What is the hype concerning bone broth? I'm not going to read that whole thing, even though it's very important, but I do. Well, let me just set this up. I'm going to read 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. Bone broth contains bones, connective tissues, and minerals. It may support the joints and digestive system and help with weight management, among other benefits. The bones and tissues of many types of animals may make good bone broth, including cow, chicken, even fish, even fish bones. Bone broth can provide important nutrients, especially minerals derived from these tissues. This may make bone broth a beneficiary dietary supplement for some people. Bone broth is an animal-based food. My books are vegan-based books. Simmering bone broths in water with some vinegar helps release nutrients from the marrow within the bones, as well as break down other tissues into the water. I write, that was a quote from What Are the Benefits of Bone Broth by John Johnson, Medical News Today, March 2023. I write, using research from this report from John Johnson added to a spectrum of research that I've gathered on this subject, I want to point out that using bone broth as a nutrition strategy has its reported benefits and some significant cautionary points. And then I go to talk about both bone broth pros and cons is where I mention magnesium. Bone broth is reportedly rich in nutrients including calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. Also, brewing connective tissue, that sounds gross to me, connective tissue into bone broth provides the body with natural compounds from the cartilage. And I don't want to just kind of leave it there. I do write about the pros and the cons. There are multiple reasons to avoid bone broth, including, this from page 176, including, number 1, heavy metal contamination. I'm not going to read the details, just the highlights. And then there are details for every one of these. Number 2, glutamate content. Number 3, histamine sensitivity. Number 4, over-reliance on bone broth for nutrition. Number 5, potential allergens. Number 6, lack of scientific evidence. Number 7, high sodium content. Number 8, digestive leukocytosis, which is an inflammation caused by eating inappropriate foods for our body. Number 9, high in purines. Bone broth high in purines, which are shown to increase uric acid levels, leading to gout. Number 10, allergies and sensitivities. Number 11, heavy metals. Heavy metal toxicity, especially from confined animal feedlot operations. Number 12, digestive issues. Number 13, nutrient imbalance. And it goes on. Preventing osteoporosis with diet is the next subchapter. And then I have a recipe on page 180, a broad spectrum vegan broth to maintain strong bones and teeth. So that you can make your own. Doesn't have to be from ox bones. You might want to make your own and avoid all of those toxins, heavy metal toxins, and other things that are incompatible with the digestive system of a herbivore species like humans. Humans are actually herbivore species. We're not omnivore, and we are certainly not carnivore. Even though some people experiment with that stuff, I don't mess around. You know me, I study this stuff every day. I don't mess around. Let's continue with the research I have on the table. Mama said eat them greens. We talked about their benefits of greens. Incorporating a variety of fresh greens into your diet can contribute to better health, well-being, providing essential nutrients, and promoting various bodily functions. Let's talk more about these benefits of eating raw greens. I did search multiple search engines to pull together many of the details I'm going to be sharing with you today. I do welcome you, our listening audience, to the conversation. I'm just realizing I haven't taken a moment here to tell you all how much I appreciate, love you being in the house. Let me just do that real quickly. I'm just going to pull up my Rumble page, and I do see for Africa One is in the house. Hatep, Brother Keita, and Global LB family. Is magnesium oil as efficient as magnesium powder, crystals, or tablets? That's not a that's a question I really don't know about. I use magnesium tablets as supplements, or actually capsules. Magnesium citrate, which is a bound form of magnesium. However it's used, and bear with me here, let me just pause and get this out of the way. I haven't used magnesium oil before. I've only used magnesium in crystallized form, or I use magnesium in the form of chlorophyll. But I would venture to say that magnesium oil sounds reasonable to me. Don't have time to look it up. I do see in our YouTube family, Let's Get Social Info is in the house. I just bought some kale romaine lettuce from Whole Foods on my way home to make a cashew nut dressing. Should be good. That should be great. Cashew nut dressing with greens in it. You sound like a pro. That sounds really, really good. Congratulations on that. That sounds real good. I'm almost tempted to say, hey, I didn't get my invitation. But if you have my email address and you want to exchange some recipes, I have a cashew ginger veganese recipe, and I'll be happy to swap it with you. Or if somebody else out there wants to swap, or you want to get access, I do have that in my first book, Living Superfood Recipes, Volume 1, 110 raw vegan recipes. But let's get social. I'm not mad at you. You sound really, really intelligent to me. Sound creative as well. Make your own. I do certainly agree. Let's continue. We got a lot of good research on the table today, and I hope you are sensing my level of joy and enthusiasm for what we are doing. Today almost became a part two of yesterday's broadcast, which was focused on counting the global diaspora. And at the end of yesterday's program, I still had 2 more hours of research and writing to finish yesterday's theme. And maybe I'll pick it up sometime this week, but I counted the total number of African people on this planet, including 238 million Africans, or maybe it's 223, somewhere around there, million African people across the diaspora. I found Africans in Brazil, across Latin America, across CARICOM, Canada, UK, France, or EU. France is part of the EU. UK, the EU. I found Africans in Western Asia, in Pakistan. I found Africans in Australo-Melanesia. Australo-Melanesia. That's the new word for this region extending from Australia and then going north into Melanesia, Polynesia, across the Pacific Islands. I counted them all. There were still some pockets I didn't get to, but we counted them all and then added that to the African continent at 1.531 billion. Now we are on this planet, are you ready? 1.78 billion African people across this planet, not all of whom claim Africa. But as we build Africa up, all of us will be proud to claim our motherland. So that's part of the reason I'm so excited. This was the culmination of probably 4 to 5 years of building these numbers up. And the numbers change every day. Yes, they do. The numbers change as we get more information. I went across 28 countries in the CARICOM region and gave a population for each one of them and what percentage of them were black. Mm, 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 mm. That's some good work. Today, we're doing the same thing for chlorophyll, magnesium, vitamin K. Mama said eat them greens, y'all. Nguvu, I see you in the house. Queen Mother Kashiba, I see you in the house. She writes, Hetep people, great topic today. Thank you, beloved. I knew this would be a type of topic that my audience would just really love because as much as we struggle against these dark forces in the world, we got to always remember Mother Nature is on our side. Our mamas are on our side. Our queen mothers, our sisters, our daughters. The essence of nature is a feminine spirit, and we acknowledge that. Mama said, eat them greens. Nguvu in the house, Hetep family, what are the benefits of Super Beats Power Supplement? And can you discuss the benefits of sea moss gel? I'm not going to get too deep into sea moss gel today, but we do know that sea vegetables are powerful superfoods. Sea vegetables like sea moss or Irish moss, as it's called in Jamaica. Vegetables like wakame, dulce flakes, nori wraps. We love the sea vegetables. There's a whole bunch of them. Kelps, various kelps. Sea vegetables are superfoods. Super blue-green algae, spirulina, chlorella. These are superfoods. So Irish moss or sea moss is undeniably a superfood. You can add it to a whole bunch of different things. When I come back from Jamaica, I always get some fresh, and all you got to do is soak it to soak the salt out of it. And then you can use it almost like spaghetti. It's a little crunchy, a little chewy, but you can use it like spaghetti. Just don't mess it up by putting that store-bought spaghetti sauce on stuff. That stuff's not, that's most of it, I would say, is not fit for human consumption. I'm reluctant for processed foods. And you also mention Super Beets Power Supplement. Well, we do know that beets are wonderfully rich in iron, in fiber, beta carotene, and the beet greens are dense in chlorophyll containing the magnesium. No doubt whatsoever with that. Mama said eat them greens, eat them beet greens too. But the beets are awesome. The only problem with beets grown in America, the sugar beets, which are used in the sugar cane or in the sugar production industry, is that 90%, 85 to 90% of the beets are genetically engineered to tolerate high levels of pesticides. So as a consequence of that, GMO beets are on the do not consume if possible list. But the beet concentrate is probably most likely going to be made from organic beets. One would think that anyone who's concentrating beets to make a superfood powder out of it would at least have the dignity to use non-GMO beets in the process. So on a scale of 1 to 10, a beet power supplement, which probably sounds like a powder form you add to smoothies, and you could add to soups and other types of things. On a scale of 1 to 10, just the idea of it, I haven't used it, but just the idea of it, I'm going to give it at least an 8. And an 8 for me is a very good grade. Fresh, non-GMO beets, cut up. You can cut the greens up, you can cut the beets up and add it to a stew, a beet stew. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 9.5 or above. I'm going to give you a recipe right now. This is a real easy recipe. It's only just 4 ingredients. It's my carrot, beet, ginger salad. I have a grater, a Salad Master grater. It's a beautiful machine. I actually won this. Salad Master grater. I'll grate my beets. I'll grate my carrots. Equal portion of each, about 2 cups each, into a big, large mixing bowl. Grate my beets, grate my carrots. I will then hand grate some peeled fresh ginger. You don't have to peel the ginger. If I'm serving it for guests, I'll peel the ginger just for aesthetic lines. But if I'm eating for myself, many times I'll just use the peeling on the ginger, just wash it off real good, because the peel itself has immune boosting functions that helps the plant protect itself from elements that might be in the soil. These elements have to come through the peel, which then neutralizes the toxicity and or pathogeneity of these elements in the soil. So that's part of the ginger plant's defense system, which makes ginger one of the most powerful immune supporting nutrients we can possibly eat. So 4 ingredients: grated beets, grated carrots, grated ginger, about 2 tablespoons of grated ginger. I lean in on ginger a little bit heavy. Anybody who's eaten my food knows, yeah, Kitty loves the ginger. And then the 4th one would be about a cup of a vegan mayonnaise. Now, I like making my own vegan mayonnaise. There are 3 or 4 of them I mentioned earlier. Someone had posted up that they're making a recipe, and that I have a cashew ginger mayonnaise in Living Superfood Recipes Volume 1. So that would be an ideal one to make for that. But you can buy commercial bought veganase as well. I prefer the brand called Follow Your Heart Veganase. There are other brands out there, and I'm not going to say any of them are bad, vegan mayonnaise, but that's the one that I have found convenient. And they're doing real good, even though the price of it gets a little steep. But by the time you use it in a dish, it averages out pretty well. So that's my dish. It's called beet, carrot, ginger salad, and it's medicinal. I use that as a diagnostic tool, believe it or not, because eating beet, carrot, ginger salad allows you to figure out how long it takes for food to transition through your gastrointestinal tract, the alimentary canal, from the rooter to the tutor. And if it transitions in less than 12 hours, less than 8 hours, that means your digestive tract is performing very good, and you should be proud of yourself. Also, in this dish, there's a lot of fiber. Beet, carrot, ginger salad has a lot of fiber in it, and we do know that fiber and the human digestive tract, the alimentary canal, is a win-win-win situation. We all win. And that's a beautiful thing. Couple of comments have come in. For Africa One, I use magnesium oil spray on the skin as an alternative to oral ingestion. Sounds pretty doggone smart to me. I'm going to look out for that. That sounds very smart. Thanks for sharing that. I hope other people reading the comments understand I am a wise one in the circle. I am not the only wise one in the circle. That's one of the beauties about having this program every day now. This is our 23rd year of broadcasting. It's because I have attracted people into the circle that are brilliant, that are healthy, wise, esteemed. It's a pleasure, an honor and a pleasure to serve this. Now, going forward, one more comment. Queen Mother Kashiba, with the oceans being so polluted, is it safe to eat those sea veggies? Is there a way to clean them? That's the beautiful thing about sea vegetables. They clean themselves as they clean our bodies. Sea vegetables detox, they chelate, which means help to remove heavy metals from our body. So the oceans are impacted by, unfortunately, humans' insufficient intelligence. I'm being polite. Human stupidity. Contaminating the oceans, it's just insanely stupid. People do it, criminals do it. We talked about the dumping of toxic waste from Europe and including nuclear waste, dumping those in the waters off the coast of Somalia by mafioso groups from the European Union. That is criminal thuggery against Mother Nature. Mother Nature don't play around. You offend Mother Nature to a point, Mother Nature will destroy whole cities in retribution. That's true. So, all the more reason for a restoration of Ma'at, restoration of righteous order on this planet. Everyone will benefit. Even the children of the thugs and the criminals and the mafioso will benefit. And if we can restore Ma'atian order to this planet, we of the Nilotic peoples, the Nilotic migration, if we can restore Ma'at on this planet, the children of the thugs and the criminals and the narcissists and these incomplete beings, Yurugu, their children will have the opportunity to grow up in harmony. I have met no small number of people, adults and their children, who have grown up in harmony with nature. I love these people. You can be of any ethnicity and be in order or out of order. I do contend that part of the reasons that things are so terribly out of order is because of Yurugu's suppression of indigenous wisdom. The indigenous wisdom of the 80 Western Hemisphere great nations that existed before Yurugu crossed the ocean and started killing and capturing and brutalizing. The indigenous wisdom of people of the sun belt around the center of the earth, around the equator. People of the sun belt where life was generous and nature was very giving all year long. They didn't grow up greedy and narcissistic and killing machines. That's enough of a tirade for right now, but people understand there is beauty to be captured. We need to get on our case and recapture beauty. Queen Mother Kashiba added, can I add raisins to that beet carrot salad? Yeah, that sounds like a great addition. I do have another salad, somewhat similar, but different, that I do add raisins to, so it would be perfectly complimentary. My other salad, I made it this past weekend and people just rave over it, is the carrot, pineapple, ginger, raisin salad. That's in, and that has vegan eggs. That's in Living Superfood Recipes, Volume 2. That's in Volume 2. Carrot, ginger, pineapple, raisin salad. So yes, 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 you can. Let's go forward. I've got a lot more research on the table. Mama said eat them greens, y'all. Mama said eat them greens. Let's go back to the research paper that I pulled up and was reading from on the topic for today. We're talking about the benefits of eating fresh, raw greens. Includes reduces inflammation. Raw greens contain anti-inflammatory compounds like polyphenols and flavonoids, which can help reduce inflammation in the body, reducing the risk of chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer, as well as the others of and the other metabolic diseases and the other, because all three of those were metabolic diseases, such as overweight, obesity, abdominal obesity or visceral adiposity, imbalance in your cholesterol levels, atherosclerosis, hypertension, hyperglycemia, diabetes, progressive nephropathy, meaning failing kidneys, which can lead, of course, to dialysis, the disruption of the gut microbiome, cancer, and non alcoholic fatty liver disease. Eating raw greens helps to suppress all of those because of the presence of flavonoids and polyphenols. Benefits of eating raw greens: high in fiber. Raw greens are rich in dietary fiber, which helps to promote digestive health, supports healthy blood sugar levels, and even helps with weight management. Yeah, eat them greens. Mama said eat them greens. Drink that green juice too. Queen Afua says drink that green juice. And see, Queen Afua is right about everything when it comes to health. Just look at her. She's a living example of the powerful advice that she's been distributing for a long time. Benefits of eating fresh raw greens include chlorophyll benefits. Chlorophyll, the green pigment in raw greens, has been shown to have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties and may even help support the health of red blood cells. That's not even a may even. It does. And in fact, here's the thing: chlorophyll, pure chlorophyll from organic sources, is the parallel equivalent or analog to hemoglobin in humans. And it's been shown that pure chlorophyll can be transplanted into human blood. Yes. If you have to have a blood transplant and you don't have any blood transplant material around, you can use clean, pure chlorophyll. Now, I'm not into punching holes in the body with needles and IVs and stuff. I'm not into that stuff. I don't like it. I think in most cases, it could be prevented if we just live the right way. But if a person's in a situation where they have to very rapidly build up their bloodstream, then chlorophyll is the go-to fix. I don't know of anybody who uses chlorophyll intravenously. I've never done it. But I know one thing. When somebody comes to my house for dinner and they're complaining about an acute situation such as PMS cramping and or acute inflammation, give them a shot of the Vortex. It's chlorophyll, apple, and ginger. Just give them a 2-ounce or 4-ounce shot of that Vortex and watch the magic happen within 10 minutes. Now, if you're bleeding out, 10 minutes is too long a time. But if you're cramping from your moon cycle, 10 minutes and relief for the rest of the moon, that's not a bad investment, is it? It is. Going forward, benefits of fresh raw greens: supports stem cell health. Some raw greens, like wheatgrass and kale, contain compounds that help support stem cell health, which then helps promote tissue repair and regeneration. The fountain of youth is in them greens, y'all. The fountain of youth is in them greens. Did I say that? I'm going to say it a third time. The fountain of youth is in them greens. We love it. Couple more points and then a couple of comments have come in. Antioxidant properties. Raw greens are rich in antioxidants like vitamins C and E, which help to protect cells from damage, reduce the risk of chronic diseases, and promotes overall health and well-being. Benefits of raw greens include supports healthy gut bacteria. Raw greens contain prebiotic fiber, which helps to support the growth of healthy gut bacteria and suppress the unhealthy gut pathogens, including bacteria, viruses, and or parasites. Keeps them in balance. And reduces the risk of chronic diseases and promotes overall health and well-being. Antioxidant properties, yes. supports healthy gut bacteria, promoting strong immune system and overall health. Benefits include may help reduce cancer risk. The antioxidants and inflammatory compounds, along with the non-digestible fiber in raw grains, may help to reduce the risk of certain types of cancer, such as colon, breast, and prostate cancer, reproductive cancers, and digestive cancers. Yes, very important. Supports healthy bones. Raw greens are rich in calcium, vitamin K, and other nutrients that are essential for maintaining strong, healthy bones. Strong, healthy bones, that's what I'm talking about. And may help reduce anxiety and depression. The magnesium and other nutrients in raw greens may help to reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, promoting a healthy mood and overall well-being. So, hey, Mama said eat them greens. Mama said drink that green juice. You know we're talking the truth. You know this is true. And this is something so easy to do. Greens are not expensive. Look at the price of eggs, just eggs in the last 6 months. It's skyrocketing. Not affecting me. I quit eating eggs and eggs containing products. And eggs is, of course, how Jamaicans pronounce the incredible edible. They took the H off of herbs and put it on the eggs, and now they say herbs and eggs. You want some herbs on your eggs, man? Nah, man, just give me the herbs. Me leave the eggs alone. But look at the cost of eggs. It's crazy. But people still think they gotta eat the incredible edible. I feel for y'all, but I'm not joining you. No way, no way. A couple of comments have come in. Nguvu said, I'll try the salad. May add some raisins and perhaps some diced apples. Sounds good. Sounds real good. Create. Be innovative, creative, experimenting. Now, when you come to my house, enjoy it as I have prepared it. And then you may prepare it and say, well, if I do add the apples and or the raisins, it goes to the next level. And I'm going to say, hey, I want to come to your house. Nguvu. So greens, such as collards, turnips, etc., should be eaten raw as opposed to cooking. Oh, yes, 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 yes. We had at the dinner we just hosted a few days ago, one of the appetizers, or could be served as appetizer or as entree, main course, was bulgur wheat tabbouleh wrapped in collard green wraps. So what I do is I make the bulgur wheat tabbouleh, which I don't cook the bulgur wheat, I just soak it until it replumps out. I add the uh, flavors to it, which makes it taste almost like sloppy joe, because I do use organic barbecue sauce in this dish, bulgur wheat tabbouleh. And then I take some collard greens, big leafy greens. I cut them into pieces so they can kind of resemble a square, like a little small wrap. And then what I do is I stack them up, put a half a dozen or a dozen of them on a cutting board, and I have a rolling pin, and I roll over them real hard until they go dark. The color goes dark, which means it's breaking up the fibrous texture of the greens so they go limp. So I roll them till they go limp, and then I just take a little bulgur wheat, put it in, roll it, stick a toothpick through it, and put it on a plate. And it's a wonderful appetizer and or hors d'oeuvre that can be served as a main course. So yeah, raw greens. Oh, and there were also this weekend we had, and I didn't take enough pictures. Some other people took pictures. I'm going to send notes. Everybody, please send me your pictures. I normally photograph everything while I'm making them, but there were so many dishes on the menu for our February 1st Saturday feast. There were so many dishes. I had 29 dishes on the menu. I think the 3 of them didn't get done. And then Terry added wonderful sweet potato brownies. They were off the chain. Good, 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 great, 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 great meal. But I also had a raw kale seaweed salad, and that was smoking. It was good. It was good in real time when it's fresh. But the next day, after that raw kale seaweed salad had a chance to overnight marinade, it went to a whole new level. Man, that dish was good. And talk about healthy on a scale of 1 to 10, that one is an 11. Raw kale seaweed salad, that one on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 11. That's it. For Africa, one in the house, Jamaicans say heg. Drop the S. Heg. It doesn't matter whether it's plural or singular. Okay. Heg. I'm just thinking in my mind, if I can recall, because I lived with a Jamaican guy for, man, we shared a house together for 6, 8 years or so. I'm trying to remember, I remember Tony Chin saying Hegs, because that's where I got the S from. But Heg, it makes sense. Jamaicans are efficient. So drop the S. Heg. Now I know. So, and thank you for that insight. I have to brush back up on my Rasta speak. I actually used to use it a lot more when I was around Jamaicans quite a bit. Just naturally, you start to flow the way they're flowing around. Plus, it sounds so cool. I had a couple of Urugu friends, and I'm not going to necessarily call them Urugu because they were good people on playing on the right team, but they were of a certain persuasion, and their Jamaican accent was a little bit, you need to drop it, you know. But I think they were trying to be complimentary. It's like when many Jamaicans or other Africans are around British people, they speak more British accent than the British do, more proper English than the Englishmen do. Some of those Englishmen, some of those British guys, you hear them talking, I can't understand what the hell are you saying. The Cockney accent and some of these. I have a friend, I know, a little off topic. I have one friend who imitates she imitates accents, and I haven't talked to her in some time. Oh, I need to reconnect. But she imitates these accents, and boy, her imitation of British accents makes me double over laughing. She's just that good at it. I'll have to get in contact with my sister. Let's go forward. We're talking about Mama said eat them greens. I'm going to go back to the research. There's a whole bunch I put on the table for today. Got a lot of side stories, you say. So, raw greens for these benefits. Some of the best raw greens to get these benefits include kale, rich in magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants. Of all of the greens, kale is considered to be the top green, the super green of all the greens. I consider all the greens to be superfoods. Kale is the super of the super. 2, spinach, high in iron, calcium, and vitamins A and K, or vitamins A and K as well. Collard greens, rich in magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants. I think the fiber in collard greens is a little bit denser, and that's a good thing. I love growing the greens. In fact, I will be setting up the new garden here in the next couple of days. It should be up by the weekend for the new year. And I say greetings to my beloved sister, Dr. Steph. I'd set up the garden for her previously, and now she's relocating out of the country and won't be able to take it with her. So she called me up and says, hey, you want to come and get this thing? And I said, I will be there. And so we went and dismantled it, and I just need to go over and haul it back over to here to the new place and set it up and get it going ASAP, because the weather is changing here in Las Vegas and spring is springing. Wheatgrass may help support stem cell health and contains high levels of chlorophyll. I need to get into, I've never done sprouted wheatgrass before. I've never sprouted it myself. I do a number of different sprouts, but wheatgrass hasn't been one of them. Swiss chard, one of our favorites, rich in magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants. You have your green Swiss chard, And you have your red Swiss chard. The red Swiss chard has slightly higher levels of iron in it. Arugula. Oh man, does the kid love some arugula? High in vitamin K, and contains anti-inflammatory compounds and rocket, as they call it in Commonwealth countries. Rocket arugula is just awesome. Fresh, homegrown arugula is one of the earliest crops you'll eat once you're growing it. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. Overall, incorporating fresh greens into your diet can have a significant impact on your overall health and well-being, and may even reduce the risk of chronic diseases. So I did a separate search for the best sources of vitamin K. It gave me not only these different dishes, but it gave you the distinction between raw and cooked, and a lot of information. I'm just going to read all of the information for the first five, and then I'll just give you the names. Um, Best food sources for vitamin K: kale. Cooked kale provides 561 micrograms of vitamin K per 125 milliliter serving. Raw kale, chopped, contains 499 micrograms per 250 milliliter serving. So apparently cooking the kale concentrates the vitamin K over the raw kale. I like the raw kale because it's so good at resetting the digestive tract. But cooked kale, I will drop some kale, and I made a black bean mushroom soup. And right near the end of it, I did drop some raw kale into it, which would have then deactivated the enzymes and cooked it into the black bean mushroom soup. And that black bean mushroom soup was good. Everybody loved it. Everybody. Some people said it was their favorite dish of the entire meal, and there were 26 dishes there. But the next day, it was even better. The next day, the first day, it looks beautiful because the colors will still pop out of the soup. But the next day, when the flavors all blend together, it's just off the chain. Best foods: spinach cooked offers 469 micrograms per 125 milliliter serving. Dandelion greens, raw, chopped, provides 452 micrograms of vitamin K per 250 milliliter serving. Mustard greens, cooked, chopped, contains 438 micrograms per 125 milliliter serving. Collards, cooked and chopped. Beet greens, cooked. Swiss chard, raw. Dandelion greens, cooked. Swiss chard, cooked. These are in order of the delivery. So you see Swiss chard raw comes earlier than Swiss chard cooked. Dandelion greens, cooked. Swiss chard turnip greens, cooked. Next on the list, parsley, raw. Next, broccoli, raw. Collards, raw. Beet greens, raw. Lettuce, spring mix, raw. Spinach, raw. Endive and escarole, raw. Brussels sprouts, cooked. Broccoli, cooked. So raw broccoli provides 169 micrograms per 125 milliliter serving, but the cooked broccoli contains 116 micrograms per 125 milliliter serving. So cooking the broccoli reduces the vitamin K delivery. Radicchio, raw, shredded. Lettuce, green leaf. Broccoli, raw, chopped. Cabbage, shredded. Bean sprouts, soybean or endame, raw. Lettuce romaine, raw. Lettuce butterhead, raw. Cabbage, raw. And green or scallion onions, raw, offers 55 micrograms of vitamin K per 60 milliliter serving. Next, and a couple comments have come in. Let me just get these. In Nguvu, as I remember, there is only a 1 molecule difference between hemoglobin and chlorophyll magnesium. I think for chlorophyll and iron for hemoglobin. You're absolutely right. Good going in Google. Yes, when you see the structure of these two molecules, hemoglobin and chlorophyll, when you see the structure of them and the hexamic structures of these, they're exactly the same. The only difference is that the core of hemoglobin is iron, which gives it its red color, and at the core of chlorophyll is magnesium, which then produces the green color. Other than that, they're exactly the same, which is why I said they could be interchanged if your chlorophyll is clean. And of course, the same thing is true. You're not going to transfer blood if it's not clean. The same would go with chlorophyll. Good going in Google. You get a bonus star or a ribbon, whatever they give the children for stepping up and saying something very, very wise in front of the classroom. You get that award. Pa-ching. Going forward, almost through. How much more time we got? We got a little bit more time. This is such an important topic. And I was going to grab my book off the shelf and read a little bit from that chapter. So let me real quickly, the benefits of magnesium before I grab the book, Living Superfood Research. List all the benefits of magnesium in human health and longevity, include regenerative medicine therapy from supplementation. That was the inquiry. Here's the response. Magnesium is an essential mineral that plays a crucial role in numerous physiological processes in the body. Here are the benefits of magnesium for human health and longevity, including its potential role in regenerative medicine therapy through supplementation. That was my inquiry. Here's its response. Benefits include, number one, bone health. Magnesium is vital for bone formation and maintenance. It helps regulate calcium levels and is essential for the structural development of bones. So go the bones, so go the teeth. Number two, muscle function. Magnesium is important for muscle contraction and relaxation. It helps prevent cramps and spasms and supports overall muscle performance. Number three, nerve function. Magnesium plays a role in neurotransmission and it helps maintain normal nerve function, which is essential for communication between the brain and the body. Number four, energy production. Magnesium is involved in ATP, adenosine triphosphate production, the energy currency of the cell, which is crucial for all cellular functions. Number five, cardiovascular health. Adequate magnesium levels are associated with a lower risk of hypertension, heart disease, and stroke. It helps regulate heart rhythm and supports overall cardiovascular function. Number six, blood sugar control. Magnesium plays a role in insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, which can help reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. And I would say, and all of the other metabolic diseases as well as hyperglycemia. Number seven, mood regulation. Magnesium plays a role in insulin sensitivity. Oh, I read that. Number six, insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. Number seven, magnesium is linked to mental health, with studies suggesting it may help alleviate symptoms of anxiety and depression. Mama said, eat them greens. Stop acting a fool. Number eight, anti-inflammatory effects. Magnesium has anti-inflammatory properties that can help reduce chronic inflammation, which is associated with various diseases, including heart disease and arthritis. Number nine, digestive health. Magnesium aids in digestion by helping to relax the muscles in the digestive tract, promoting regular bowel movements, and preventing constipation. Number 10, sleep quality. Magnesium may improve sleep quality by regulating neurotransmitters that promote relaxation and by helping to maintain normal circadian rhythms. So that means magnesium is supportive of the function of the pineal gland. Very important. On the subject of regenerative medicine therapy for magnesium supplementation, tissue repair and regeneration, magnesium supplementation may support tissue regeneration by promoting cellular function and reducing oxidative stress. Very important. Point two, stem cell function. Some research suggests that magnesium may influence stem cell behavior, potentially enhancing their ability to differentiate and regenerate tissues. Number three, wound healing. Magnesium is involved in the healing process, and adequate levels may promote faster recovery from injuries and surgeries. Number four, chronic disease management. By addressing magnesium deficiency through supplementation, individuals may improve their overall health and reduce the risk of chronic diseases, contributing to longevity. Number five, chronic disease management. That was the one I just read. Number four. And number five, enhanced recovery. Athletes and individuals undergoing physical rehabilitation will benefit from magnesium supplementation to support muscle recovery and reduce fatigue. In summary, magnesium is a vital mineral that supports various aspects of health and longevity. Its role in regenerative medicine therapy through supplementation highlights its potential to enhance tissue repair, support stem cell function, and improve overall well-being. Mama said eat them greens. So that is the compiled information that I pulled today on that. I did pull up multiple articles. Let me just do this. I'm just going to give you just the headers of these articles. Food sources of vitamin K. Copy. Go to the link. Oops, don't do that. Don't do that. Go to the link of the article. Here, that's what I'm looking for. And paste this, space, and copy. I'm just going to share with you the sources so you can do your research on this stuff as well. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to, where are we at? Go here and paste the source material. Push this in here as well. So you, the listeners, the readers, can have access to this information the same way that I am doing this. Try these 21 healthy foods full of vitamin K. Copy. Go to my URL. Go to home, paste all that, copy, and close that window. Doing the best we can to make sure that all of us have access to this life-enhancing information. I know I could put these up on my Facebook page as well. And real quickly, Mama said, eat them greens, y'all. So paste this one up. Did I get this one already? Here we go. And copy that. Bear with me. I hope you agree that this is worth having access to this research. If I can teach you, if I can give you a fish, you eat for a day. If I can teach you to fish, you can feed your family forever. And that's why I share these researches. What are the richest food sources of vitamin K2? from Dr. Stephen Lin. I like Dr. Stephen Lin. I'm going to read from this article just real quickly, share the link. And I'm going to read from this article, if you don't mind, because I'm a big fan of Dr. Stephen Lin. What I will do is while I'm reading it, I'll paste it up. For others who want to read along, want to study along, you want to do what I do. Add these to a folder in your health section of your computer where you save data related to long-term health. Create a folder so that you can collect these types of information. So very important. Now, for some odd reason, some days it do, some days it don't. I don't understand why it's different. But we do the best we can. This from Dr. Stephen Lin. The article entitled, "What are the richest food sources of vitamin K?" And right there in the main picture, he's got cracked eggs. I don't mess around with Heg. How to get enough vitamin K2 in your diet. And to get enough vitamin K2 in your diet, you need to plan carefully, because vitamin K2 is a very difficult nutrient to get in enough of from your diet. 4 reasons for this. Foods for sources of vitamin K are rare. K2, not K, K2. You don't accidentally eat vitamin K very often. While vitamin K1 is easier to consume relatively, if you don't consciously try to eat K2 rich foods, you're not likely eating enough K2. It's contained in certain sets of foods that people are less aware of. They're preparation dependent, depending on how they're treated or prepared. Animal products need to come from animals that were pasture raised. I don't mess around. I don't mess around with cattle. I don't mess around with eggs, Heg. I don't mess around with pork, fowl, fish. I don't mess around with any of them, and I have stated extensively the reasons why I don't mess around. He talks about egg yolk. I have yet to receive the health benefits of vitamin K. Your body needs other factors. The 2 main factors are the fat-soluble vitamins A and D. But I'm not hearing what are the benefits of vitamin K2. What are the benefits of vitamin K2? I can't tell. Certain medications deplete vitamin K2 or inhibits its absorption. Best food sources. I'm not seeing the word benefits in here. Goose liver pate. Now, I'm sorry, Dr. Lin. I like your research. I think he does wonderful videos. I see him in interviews on YouTube. I think he's a pretty good nutritionist, but there's no way in the world I'm going after any goose's liver. Ain't no way. And vitamin K foods. Okay, the research I did using the AI gave me these references, but I'm just not finding them useful. And it's telling us what we already have said previously today, so it could be good source material, but I'm just not finding it useful. Excuse me. Great foods for getting vitamins A, 2, K in your diet. And vitamin foods high in vitamin K include mustard greens, beet greens, collard greens, kale, natto, which is made from fermented soybeans. You can also supplement with natto. I am at present supplementing with natto kinase, which is a natural blood pressure lowering nutrition. Very, very important for anyone suffering from hypertension or high blood pressure. I like vitamin. If you have issues, like I got hit by a car and the blood vessels in my legs, the capillaries burst. You could see all these red came to the surface of my skin, which means the car hit me and shattered capillaries, and there was a danger of thrombosis or blood clots. And my doctor, Dr. Carolyn Lee, and I'm proud to say my doctor when I mention her name, Dr. Nathan Rabb when I mention his name, my doctor, Dr. Carolyn Lee, was the only one to treat me, other than after I got out of the emergency room at UCLA. She didn't give me any prescribed medication. She just told me to get the supplement nattokinase. And I used the nattokinase. I didn't take any pain pills, no other pills or anything other than the herbal nutrient nattokinase. And I suffered no blood clots. And my body healed very rapidly because I only took the natural course. I only used food as nature's most perfect medicine. And it was a devastating car accident. A drunk driver speeding in a 35-mile-an-hour zone veered off into the parking lanes. As I was coming out of the store and opening the rear door to my minivan, the car slammed into the back of the minivan with me in between them, and the bumper moved by 16 inches. There was a big, huge dent in the door as I was lifting it. It got to the top of my head, and this big knot on my head matched the big dent in the bottom of the rear hatch. I could have been killed instantly. I could have had my leg severed because it hit right in the middle of my left thigh. Hit me from behind. I didn't even see it coming. All I knew is something happened and I'm on the sidewalk on my back and these people are leaning over me in my face. And I'm kind of coming back into consciousness like, wow, these people are really close to me. Something's going on and I'm in the middle of it. And whatever it is, this is not good. And finally, I'm understanding what they're saying. They're saying things like, just relax, the ambulance is on its way. And I do remember being put into the ambulance and then kind of coming into awareness. Somewhere in the middle of that space, I reconnected with the enduring spirit of my transitioned father, who kind of came along to guide me. And since that accident happened in November 2012, the spirit of my father, he was a scientist, he was a chemist. The spirit of my father has been closer to me, and my mother's spirit had been with me for so many years. She died at a very young age, and her spirit has always been with me. And from that point on, I think that my level of scientific inquiry and scientific genius elevated because of this presence of George R. Howard in my life. I am a Wadu, he was Howard, natural evolution. Give thanks and praises to the ancestors for all that they do for all of we. It is our sacred mission to carry on the greatest tasks of their lives. I am because my Father is, and we are living entities on this beautiful water-covered pearl of a planet. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-yo. And we are getting close to the end of today's broadcast. Bear with me here. Almost there. And I'm sharing these links, but I shared one twice. I thought it was from Dr. Kim, but I didn't necessarily eat that. Ever eat fermented greens? No, I'm not aware of fermented greens. That sounds good. Mo, Cam, fermented greens? I have eaten sauerkraut. That is a form of fermented green. Cabbage is not necessarily a green, it's a cruciferous vegetable, but it does grow through its green phase, and I have eaten cabbage greens before when growing cabbage, but that sounds like that could work. That sounds like that could work. If you have, drop a note. What benefits from fermented greens would you suggest we be looking for? It sounds good to me, and I appreciate knowledge, wisdom when shared freely and openly. I'm going to just begin to wrap up today's conversation. I had pulled up several articles in the background. Let me see if they're still here. The one from Dr. Lee, we bypassed that. We're talking about foods high in vitamin K. We got up to mustard greens, natto, Swiss chard and spinach, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, green beans, prunes. I love me some prunes, and kiwi. The bottom line, eat a well balanced diet will help you to get the nutrients your body needs to properly function. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seafood, may not do with that, are rich sources of many vitamins. Incorporate a variety for optimum health and wellness. The reason I don't eat seafood is because of humanity's disgusting practices at polluting the seabed. The seafloor contains hundreds of years of accumulated heavy metals, which unfortunately enters the food chain. The plastics contaminating the oceans are in the flesh of the fish now. And after the Fukushima accident, the whole Pacific Rim showed evidence up to 4 years later of high levels of radioactive pollution impacting the bodies of sea otters off the coast of California, of salmon in the Puget Sound. And, mankind, in his limited wisdom and his aggressive arrogance towards nature, has messed up stuff. And much of the seafood that's out here nowadays is farm raised, growing these ocean or lake seabeds. But farmed raised fish, they have to use pesticides because there's a tendency to be contaminated by sea lice. And nobody wants to eat seafood with little black specks of sea lice in the flesh. That's just the reality is. You don't believe me? Let me just real quickly go through, and I'm going to use AI real quick. What is the association between farm-raised fish and farm-raised fish, sea lice, and pesticides? That's an inquiry. I'm going to copy, cut, and paste. I'll probably be inquiring on a secondary source. I'm just going to Brave, which is my first go-to AI search, mainly because Brave is much more secure. I've stopped using Google for all searches. I use Google for image search. It's pretty good for that. Other than that, Google is it's a spy in your life, and I don't like that. Fish, farm, sea lice, pesticide link. Sea lice are a significant issue in fish farms, where they can multiply and spread due to the artificial environment created by confining large numbers of fish in open net pens. These lice can affect both farmed and wild fish, with studies indicating a positive association between sea lice abundance on farms and the likelihood of wild fish being infested. To control sea lice infestations, fish farms often use pesticides such as imamectin, benzoate, and deltamethrin, which can be toxic to other marine life, including crustaceans like lobsters, crabs, and shrimp. The use of these chemicals can disrupt local ecosystems and lead to the development of resistant lice strains, necessitating the use of even more toxic treatments. In some regions, such as the Atlantic Ocean, sea lice have become increasingly resistant to certain pesticides, forcing farmers to use chemicals that are more toxic. This can lead to unintended consequences, such as the discovery of banned chemicals in dead marine animals. Overall, the association between farm-raised fish, sea lice, and pesticides highlights the need for more sustainable and environmentally friendly methods of fish farming to mitigate the negative effects on wild fish populations and marine ecosystems. And so there you go. It did cite a couple of articles, one of which I'm going to pull up right now. Open in new tab. Wait a minute. Where you is? Open in new tab. This article, which was cited in that reference, called Sea Lice and Pesticides, Chemical Warfare in Open Net Cage Fish Farms. Copy the title, go to the URL, go home, paste it, space, hyphen space, copy the whole thing, and I'm going to share that with you, our listening audience, so you can have access to this information as well. Copy that for the stream today. Copy that for the promo today. I'm going to push this up into my Rumble page for my listening audience. And real quickly, Queen Mother Kashiba wrote, this is off topic, but South Africa is not getting funds for HIV patients. Is it not time to bring Dr. Nancy Turner Banks back and get her opinions on how to help get info to South Africa on HIV? Yeah, that is good. And she asked further, what about kimchi? Kimchi is awesome. Just make sure your kimchi does not have scrimps in it. Much of the kimchi that's out here on the shelves, I like the Korean restaurants or the Korean grocery stores, but they will put shrimp in their kimchi, and I don't mess around. Anything with shrimp, to me, that's just nasty. That's just nasty. I don't mess around. So this article from Living Oceans entitled Sea Lice and Pesticides, real quickly. Chemical warfare in open net cage fish farms. Parasites occur naturally in the wild, but confining large numbers of farmed salmon in open net pens over long periods of time creates artificial environments for parasites like the sea louse to multiply and spread. Their eggs are dispersed by the currents and can travel freely into and out of net pens. Many salmon farms are located in more sheltered areas of the coast that are important migration routes of wild salmon. All salmon, farmed or wild, enter the ocean from fresh water lice free. Sea lice are naturally occurring on adult wild salmon, which are large enough to withstand typical levels of lice infestation. It is the out-migrating juvenile wild salmon, often weighing less than 1 gram, that can fall victim to heavy lice loads originating in salmon farms. The placement of salmon farms on migration routes disrupts a natural balance. Normally, when wild juveniles migrate from their natal rivers to the open ocean, there are few, if any, sea lice waiting for them. Lice that arrived in coastal waters in the fall, clinging to in-migrating adult salmon, dropped off when those salmon enter freshwater. In the absence of host fish, lice cannot multiply and infect the outgoing juveniles next spring. A global assessment by researchers at Dalhousie University showed that wherever there are open net pen salmon farms, sea lice levels on wild salmon and trout are higher, and those wild populations are declining at a faster rate than in nearby areas where there are no salmon farms. Parasites can also weaken a fish's immune system and dead infections that can lead to and spread infections that can lead to disease. So I'm going to come out of this, but this is so very important. And a link to another article on the very subject. What I will do is copy, cut, and paste this one. I think I did already. And I did copy, cut, and paste that. I'm going to do this also on my Facebook to where people go to get this information. And just double checking. I do see it's there. In fact, I did it twice. No need to do that twice. Delete one. And let's go ahead and go forward with today's broadcast. You've been tuned into LIB Radio, LIB TV, and LivingBlack.com. I hope you find this to be compelling research. This is what we do here on LIB Radio. I am writing another book. Excuse me. And Queen Mother and everyone else, you will be really proud. You heard, I think you heard yesterday's broadcast. I did another couple of hours work after yesterday's broadcast. I talked about this earlier and just really proud of the new work. Let me give everybody just the bottom line, because since I finished this, this is like 5 years worth of work. And yesterday just took it to a whole new level. And yesterday's broadcast was great, but then it wasn't finished yet. And then I finished yesterday's broadcast and I produced this information from the book. The book is entitled The African Future, Empowering a United and Prosperous Africa for Future Generations. And let me see, pick it up where I finished off yesterday. We're not there. I started a new chapter already. The chapter was on population. And I went through all of these different groups from around the world and brought these population numbers up to date. 55 nations on the African motherland continent as of yesterday, 1,536,516 and 1,120. Brazil population 106.327 million Brazilians. Across Latin America 130 million. That did not include Brazil. Afro-Americans in the U.S. and Canada 67.89 million people. Nobody has published that number before. I'm the first one to publish that number. And I show you in this book how I get that number. The CARICOM, Caribbean region, 28.635 million people of African ancestry. Nobody's ever published that number before. I show you how to do it. United Kingdom, 2.9 million. I had been saying for several years, that there were 3 million African heritage people in the UK. 2.9 million is very, very close to what I had been saying. And I'm very proud of the fact that I was so close. Probably the black population of the UK is shrinking. And in fact, wow, this is so powerful. In fact, according to the research I did yesterday, and I think I put this into the chapter, that had black people in America not bought into abortion, had we had those babies from 22.7 million pregnancies, we would have become the largest minority or largest ethnic group in the United States in 2045. We would have taken over the #1 spot in 2045. Unfortunately, according to my book, Fade to Black, by 2065, we will have disappeared. We will have eliminated ourselves, because 22.7 million abortions is compound interest. 40 years after that, that becomes between 36 and 42 million people missing. Our youngest population, which would then be going into its childbearing age, which means the compound interest on that now is over 42 million missing from our group, because we bought into that madness. We can buy out of it, but there's very low likelihood that the culture will significantly shift. And what about all of those children missing? What about all of those Harriet Tubmans missing? All of those Rosa Parks missing? All of those Frederick Douglasses missing? W.E.B. Du Bois missing from our group? Because we bought into that madness from Urugu. Can we do better than that? We would like to think so, yeah. Women have the choice to do with their bodies what they wish to. I'm not going to go into that debate. That's a whole nother subject of which I'm not touching that one. But I will say this much. We're going to have to start thinking over the horizon long term. That's why I included in the book Disaster Preparedness for World Wars 5 and 6, I included a chapter called Game Theory for Master's Level Study. We need to be engaging in master's level game theory strategies for the benefit of our group, for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of younger generations just coming into their adulthood. I have been talking about today, Mama said eat them greens. I should have stayed on that subject. Hopefully we won't get banished today. Try not to say anything too offensive. Mama did say eat them greens, and them greens are good for us. Them greens are wonderful for us. Oh, I didn't finish what I was talking about. European Union, we found 10 to 15 million Africans. In India, with the CDs, we found between 50,000 and 100,000. There are different numbers, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, as high as 100,000. Western Asia, Arab nations, we found 15 million. Pakistan, we found of the Sheedis, Sheedis, of African origin in Pakistan, estimated to be around 250,000. Across Australo-Melanesian people, this Asian Pacific group estimated to 12 to 15 million African descended lineage. In summary, this is my summary. Queen Mother, this is what I present to you. My summary. My painstakingly gathered data concludes that a reasonable estimate of the global African diaspora, admittedly a very conservative conclusion, would put this number of the diaspora at 247,077,944, added to the great African continental population of 1,536,516,120. This leads to the conclusion that as of yesterday, February 11th, the global African descended population could be estimated to be around 1.783 billion strong. Yeah, the global African descended population could be estimated to be around 1.783 billion strong. Who else has heard anyone say something so precise? I'm going to answer you, our listening audience, buy the books. Reward me for doing this research. The 3 latest books, 2 came out in December 2024, Living Superfood Solutions, which today I saved today's data and the programming and the research saved in the same folder from which this book came out, which now looks like Living Superfood Solutions may produce a second book in the next year or 2. The second book that came out in December was called Disaster Preparedness for World Wars 5 and 6. And let me tell you, since the inauguration of the new MAGA dog in chief, World Wars 5 and 6 have escalated significantly. The media didn't even tell us they exist. The media is still struggling to discover World War III. Well, that's why you read my books. Because don't expect the media to be on the leading edge of anything that serves your best self-interest, and then brand new out. I'm so proud to be holding this book. This book is still warm, called The Stem Cell Revolution, a holistic approach to stem cell activation and regenerative therapy. I humbly submit that I am worthy to inherit this blazing legacy from my father, George R. Howard. Papa, in the realm of the great ancestors, I am because you were. We are Ubuntu. I walk in your footprints, my head held high, because of the wonderful sacrifices you made to give life and vitality to each and every one of us. And Mama said, eat them greens. Mama was right about so many things. Mama said, eat those greens. And we do follow Mama's sacred instruction. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up for today. It's been a good day here on LIB Radio. Like Ice Cube said, today was a good day. I didn't even have to use my AK. That's what I'm talking about. LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. And we'll be very, very proud of who we are, what we do, where we've come from, and where we are going to. It looks like Living Superfood Solutions may produce a second book in the next year. Okay. I do see the second book. The audio is fine on the second computer, but the video froze. But if the audio is still going, Mama said eat them greens, y'all. I don't know why the video froze, but Mama said eat them greens. And when Mama says it, we feel it. Who feels it knows it, y'all. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. And let me get some bumper music queued up. And the other computer over here seemed to have, it was late getting into the party. And it ducked out of the party a little bit prematurely. But that's okay. We know how to fix things in real time. So that's what we do here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. And we're very, very proud to bring you the best of this knowledge and wisdom accumulated from across our generation. We are truly a great people. We come from a great lineage, and we will raise a generation to follow us that's even higher than ourselves. So peace and prosperity to each and every one of you, and trying to get this bumper music to come out just right. Don't even worry about it. Talk tomorrow. Peace, y'all.